Okay. Here's the thing. Let me see. So we're still kind of going over opening statements and other things of the sort. And for example, in opening statements, let me pull this up. In opening statements, you're gonna hear a very interesting part, actually. Let me see. No, not that. Give me 1 second. Is it this? Maybe it's this. Or maybe it's this, actually. Let me see. A song. So basically, they're explaining, or his lawyer was explaining pretty much most of the things he's accused of and kind of like pretty much cop and please. But it goes further than that. And I know we touched on a few things because they were posted on Instagram, but we didn't really get into like the whole full thing of the trial. Listen to some of this.
Because he doesn't write them down. Drugs. They searched for gangsters. They're in the studio. They are creating music for us to listen to.
This is after he calls them pseudonyms.
First one, that's April 20th, 2014. It's a song released on social media, a song called Ooh. Red just like Elmo, but I never effing give go. YFL won't fold, pick his A off a balcony, off in the balcony. There's no evidence anyone got picked off a balcony. YSL, wife at ends, nose, which I showed you. I'm an F for the cash. Then she's getting robbed by Tick. Tick is another name for Trontavious C. He will tell you he had a rough life. He's been in custody. In a Bentley on Wesley, getting trailed by sniper, there's no evidence of that. Jeff released a song on YouTube, it's called Slime, S-H-I. Hey, this slime, S-H-I. Hey, YSL, H-H-I. Hey, killing 12, that means police, S-H-I. Hey, flick a jail, S-H-I. Hey, cooking white brick, that would be like making crack cocaine. I'm not new at this, hey, I'm so true to this, hey, I done put a whole slime on 100 licks. Slime or get slimed. I'm the VIP and I got that pistol on my hip. You praying that you live, I'm praying that I hit. Hey, this that same slime, S-H-I. FF the police in a high speed. Hundreds of rounds at the Tahoe. The next line has taco. These are rhyming. There are not 100 rounds in the Tahoe of Mr. Donovan Thomas. You'll have no evidence when that lyric was even created. The prosecution doesn't care.
By the way, you know what I've thought about? And you guys process this and maybe you could answer this and maybe we could talk about it. As much as I know artists want to have this integrity about, writing their own rhymes, if I was a lawyer here, I would look at Thug and say, hey, listen, is there a collaborator you've worked with, whether a producer or somebody who's in a studio who's not involved in none of these crimes, that we could just say, well, obviously it would probably have to be backed up by maybe publishing or some shit like that, that we could just say, you don't write your lyrics. You're just a performer. So whatever you say on those records, you're reciting the lyrics of somebody else. It kind of absolves you from those lyrics, doesn't it? And I'm wondering why not go that route rather than explain each line and be like, oh no, he's only saying it because he's trying to fit in with the other rappers.
These are release dates. They have no clue that this is what they're giving to you. And is it 100 rounds in a Tahoe, like bullets hit a Tahoe? Or is there someone driving a Tahoe with 100 rounds in it? It's up to the listener, I guess.
What the fuck? Wait. Did this shit just like mute up again? Sorry.
In 2019, that shooting happened on January 26, 2050. There's no connection. Plus, wife and Lucy, he still mentions Jeffrey. That's how bad his album is.
What?
He says in 2016.
Wait,
Plus, wife and Lucy, he still mentions Jeffrey. That's how bad his album is.
did he say that's how bad his album is? Yo, this is a petty lawyer. No fucking way he just did wife and Lucci like that.
He still mentions Jeffrey. That's how bad his album is. He says in 2016 how he slept with Jeffrey's fiance. These are just lyrics. These are art.
By the way, and I seen some people keep saying like, yo, if you're gonna be juvenile and watching me cover this case, you have to exit stage left. I get it, you love Thug or you love whatever, but you gotta can't be a juvenile. Me breaking this down and knowing what the prosecutor is probably gonna retort with this shit, it's not snitching. It's being smart. Everything is public consumption. Like for example, like he just said, well, Young Thug had said I shot at his mommy, so he don't mention me, and he's saying, well, the guy kept mentioning Young Thug. Well, not because let's say if Young Thug did shoot at his mom, that don't mean he's not gonna respond ever again. But also, as he says, wife and Lucy rapped about sleeping with Young Thug's girl, and he's like, it's just lyrics. Well, it's more than just lyrics, because if you go back to social media postings, and I could listen again. Remember, I'm not prosecuting these guys, but you don't think a prosecutor is gonna be like, yo, Jerica Carley, wife and Lucci, and who's the other person, and Young Thug. There's whole screenshots. Look. There's whole articles. Wife and Lucci continues Young Thug beef, claims he slept with Carly multiple times.
I'm saying, what y'all want me to tell y'all?
What happened? What happened?
I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't speak on that. You feel me?
Is it about a girl, yeah?
Nope.
I don't know. He probably be, his girl. You know how she was about me. So,
That's what I saw.
I
saw that you said you slept with his girl. Is that what it's about?
I was in the bed with her a couple times.
Wait, she said that's a lie, though. She said that's a lie.
Man, hey, we ain't gonna talk on that, though. 650 Lou out.
Look, imagine someone speaking on your name that you never fucked, blah, 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 blah.
You lame ass. You clout chasing ass, goofy ass. You clout chasing ass, weak ass. Listen, hey, I ain't stopping nothing. Been in bed with who? Been in bed with who? On my whole mother family, you lying. On my mama life, on the woman I love the most. Never been in bed with you. Tell what you really mad at. Tell why you really mad. You liar. DM right now saying, I ain't say I you. I said you want me. You lame clout chasing weak ass.
Okay.
Really mad. Tell why you really mad. You liar. DM right now saying, I ain't say I said you want me. You lame clout chasing weak ass. What's wrong with you? Clout chase. What type of chasing? No, you lying, bitch.
It's still lying.
It's still lying. They don't even know you. Lame. Stop playing. Goofy ass. Lying ass. Know you a liar. You know yourself and your soul. You a hoe. A hoe. You ain't never got no money. Smoke with nobody in the city of Atlanta. Know you a hoe. And I'm saying in my mother.
Okay. Oh, there's more?
shit. Yep, and I'm too pretty. Peace. His should be so embarrassed. Like I said the first time. I'm out. Yeah.
All right, then Thug was like, your wife, if I didn't like what you do for your mother, I would have been killed you. That's kind of where all that came from, right? Hey, it is what it is. Let's get back to this.
Movies?
Oh, this is what that is.
Music don't get criminal.
Oh, how did I get this on?
Next. September 16, 2019. Mr. Arnold, Jeffrey Williams, just how it is. Jeffrey supposedly saying, I escaped every one of the licks because I was supposed to be rich. I don't care nothing about no cop. I'm telling you just how it is. Hit him with a Mac now, his whole body's scabbed. I done for the crew, I done did the robbing, I done did the jacking, now I'm full-time rapping. Last end tried me, almost got popped at Lennox. Ask the cops, ask the detectives. They all know the business. Ask the cops, ask the detectives. All the jurisdictions. Gave a lawyer close to $2 million. He handles all the killings. We don't speak about S on wax. It's all mob business. We know to kill the biggest cats of all the kittens, and that has to be done in Thomas, right? It just has to be done in Thomas. There's no evidence that that's true. That's what you're told. $2 million for the lawyer to handle all the killings. The authorities got all of Jeffrey's finances. How much money Jeffrey paid to lawyers? For other people? Hardly any. You'll see a chat that Jeffrey's asked to pay $2,500 to someone's lawyer. Who doesn't even do that? He's asked to pay for lawyers all the time. Who doesn't do it? He's not the head of a conspiracy. He's not in a conspiracy. They are lyrics. The next one.
Watch this.
It's December 18, 2020. This is Mr. Kendrick, Mr. Kitchens, Jeffrey. And they released a music video, Take It to Trial. This is a very popular song. This song was based on another song called Take It to Trial. They changed the lyrics. So that was the inspiration. Take this MF trial. I rep for my...
Yo, this... You know what's so crazy? I used to say Sexy Red looked like him. I think he looked like Sexy Red.
Life for real. For slimes you know I kill. Trial. I done beat it twice. State. I'm undefeated like feds. Came and snatched me. I don't know. No point in asking. I was unbelievable. And that would be like Cleveland, except the C was dropped for the B. Stuck like a magnet. B-I-T-A-S-S. And I shot at your mom. You need to stand down. I up my stamina. Take it to trial. Get an appeal. Take it to trial.
He looked over like, y'all hope y'all not think I really did that.
Yeah, you're gonna whack him. Pay for the casket. It's just if we whack him. My young ends pulling up Bentleys. Ass.
That nigga said, damn, that shit hard.
Get an appeal. Take it to trial. Yeah, you're gonna whack him. Pay for the casket. It's just if we whack them, my young ends pulling up Bentleys, Aston Martins, those Teslas strapped with an FM, choppers, carbons. YSL, slimy and shady. Watch me whack that B, pop them like a cyst, Glock with the assist.
Woo!
That is your confession. Stuff goes around the world. Now it's held literal, Jeff. It's outrageous. The next one. It's April 16, 2021. Jeffrey released a song on YouTube, Really Be Slime. The lyrics, my end really, they slime. We committing them crimes. Hop out and shoot. Roll one up for the gang. Want to be slime? 21, okay. Mr. Arnold, Mr. Kitchens, Jeffrey, did appear in a video titled Ski. I F with slime.
Okay, let's get like a summary of what's kind of happening so far, because I know we have kind of missed every minor detail, but let's look at the major ones.
On that issue?
You said that you would do it later as it came
Okay,
up.
well, here's the thing. Later is now. I got a jury in the box, so you could have asked me that an hour. I mean, we had time this morning. I could have gone through that this morning and made clarity on it for both sides.
So I wish that the court would just follow their own instruction.
Well, I'll follow my instructions when you all bring to my attention what you need to in a timely manner.
Day one of the Young Thug criminal trial was smooth sailing, went off without a hitch. I'm just kidding. It was a bit of a mess. We're going to dive into 7 developments from the start of this major RICO case. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Well, folks, we are finally here. The first day in the Young Thug RICO trial out in Georgia. Pretty unbelievable, right? I mean, almost a year of jury selection. We did a sidebar previously about all the twists and turns in this case. The jurors, the attorneys, the defendants, all getting in trouble with the court. 9 defendants took plea deals. 1 defendant still on the run. 12 defendants' cases were severed from the rest. And after all of this, this trial has now begun for 6 defendants. And that includes rapper Young Thug, real name Jeffrey Lamar Williams. Now, he and his co-defendants are charged under Georgia's RICO, or Racketeering Act, namely that they are all part of this criminal enterprise, that they're engaged in murder, robbery, assault, and so forth. Young Thug himself, he faces 8 charges, and he is considered by prosecutors to be the leader of this criminal enterprise. And according to prosecutors, that criminal enterprise, or gang, is known as YSL, or Young Slime Life. Now, the prosecutors allege that Young Thug started YSL back in 2012. It's also known as Young Stoner Life and is the name of the artist's music label. But now we are in day 1. Actually, I should tell you, we started an hour late because a juror had car trouble. But as you'll see, that wasn't the only delay in court. Oh, no. And the start of this trial, what do we always have? We have opening statements, right? The opportunity for each side to lay out their case for the jury. This came after the judge provided jury instructions. Okay, so let's start this up. And of course, we're going to start with the prosecution. It's their burden. It's their case. So we hear from Fulton County Chief Deputy District Attorney Adrienne Love. And I got to first highlight how she started off her opening statement with a poem.
Now, this is the law of the jungle, as old and as true as the sky. And the wolf that shall keep it may prosper, but the wolf that shall break it must die. As the creeper that girdles the tree trunk, the law runneth forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack.
Well, that's right. A little Rudyard Kipling's Jungle Book for you. Unique way to start off a criminal trial. The idea, of course, is that YSL operated as a pact. And that's going to be an important theme in this case, right? That the actions taken by the YSL members was not to benefit themselves as individuals, but rather the collective gang with Williams at the top. That's how you prove the main RICO charge. Hey there, everybody. So you know from watching Law and Crime how important protecting your loved ones is and self. And they are offering a special 20% off of your entire order when you...
And who did commit criminal street gang activity, that is crimes, that were intended to further the purposes and advance the directives of YSL itself. So YSL, as the evidence will show, they didn't move individually. The members and associates of YSL They moved like a cat, with the defendant Jeffrey Williams as its head. Their members commit crimes on behalf of the gang. They commit crimes such as armed robbery, hijacking, motor vehicle theft, theft by receiving, stolen firearms, so many stolen firearms, possession of a machine gun, and narcotics sales. And last but certainly not least, murder. You're going to hear that this gang stole at least 3 lives from this community over the last 10 years. At least 3 that are referenced in this indictment. You'll find that as a result of this gang's activities, a young woman who had nothing to do with either YSL or any of their opposition was gunned down by people trying to get back at YSL for what they did. You'll hear evidence that after the murder of Donovan Thomas,
That's not.
no less than 50 shootings occurred over the course of the next several months.
Now, that is part of her opening statement, laying out what all of this means, and it kind of gives you a summary. But what Love also did was she took the time to explain what RICO is. What is RICO? Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organization. Alias Ryan in another case. The jury shouldn't have seen that. Says this is grounds for a mistrial. The jury can't unsee what they saw. Well, Judge Euro Glanville, he denied the motion, and he said, look, I'll provide an instruction to the jury that will correct the record. Seems fine, right? Not so simple. Because then other defense attorneys stood up and said they noticed there were mistakes in the state's PowerPoint.
All right, Mr. Matthews.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning to the court.
By the way, this is a shit show. This shit took so long to get started, so long to pick a jury, and even then, they're still having procedural issues. Like, yo, you're supposed to submit the PowerPoint to the attorneys who are going to be in the defense. You ain't do that. You're mentioning certain shit that should not be mentioned in front of a jury in open court. Now, obviously, this judge is frustrated with his whole case. He's not going to call a mistrial. But what it's going to do is that it's given multiple grounds of possibly appeal that even if he was found guilty, they could definitely have multiple grounds to appeal it on.
I'd like to direct the state's attention to slide 15. In slide 15, the third bullet point. Number 2, the quote in the indictment is different from the quote in the article. So that's 2 errors in slide 15 pertaining to Marquez Hugh. In the state's opening presentation, the date they have is October 1, 2020, but in the indictment, that particular overt act is November 16, 2020. So that's the third error in the state's opening slide presentation. So those need to be corrected to mirror the indictment.
On behalf of Mr. Stillwell, slide number 47, it suggests that Mr. Stillwell is still committing crimes on behalf of the gang even after being indicted on these charges. And my understanding was that anything that you had not ruled upon, we were not supposed to reference or discuss in opening statements. So those are clear references to unindicted charges that we did not get a ruling on its admissibility yet.
Do I have any further objection? Are there any further objections to the state's PowerPoint?
Your Honor, I was unaware that there were changes. I apologize. No one told me that. I didn't get an email to that or text.
I told you all to do that during lunch. That was my last conversation with you all before I went ahead and broke for lunch. You know, you all don't listen to the court, and it's going to get you all in a lot of hot water. You need to listen to me when I tell you something, and don't rely upon your own understanding. These jurors are waiting back there. We are dallying out here. So, you didn't follow my instructions, Mr. Steele. I mean, that's what I asked you all to do. I asked you all to share each. We're already behind to begin with. Any further objections?
And on slide 10 and 13, They misquoted the Instagram post.
They misquoted it?
Yes, they did. It says, I bet YSL make the news tonight. That's not what the Instagram post says.
Your Honor, we actually copied the Instagram post into slides 10 and 13.
And it does not say tonight.
I'm sorry. Okay. I will take out the words tonight.
Look at this nigga.
He's right.
Oh boy. So Judge Glanville, clearly upset. The jurors are waiting. And Judge Glanville actually said at one point that one of the attorneys was hijacking his bench by bringing up an issue at the 11th hour. You have the various defense attorneys. They're saying they didn't get the appropriate copies of the state's presentation, but they also didn't apparently follow the judge's instructions on how to review the state's PowerPoint for any issues during the court break. But there were apparently mistakes in the presentation to begin with. So at one point, Judge Glanville gets so fed up, he threatens that no one now can use PowerPoints in their opening statements. But defense attorneys are like, we did nothing wrong. We sent our PowerPoints over to the state well in advance, and we need them. We're not prepared. So finally, in the end, the judge did allow edited, redacted versions of the slides in PowerPoints. And after over 2 hours, the jury finally came back in to hear the continuation of the opening statements. This is day one, folks. Okay, my opinion, just a mess. Just a mess. Not unexpected when you're dealing, though, with 6 defendants, multiple charges, RICO, over 100 overt acts. This trial is scheduled to last 3 to 6 months. Could it be longer? I don't know. But let's go back to Prosecutor Love. So,
okay, by the way, also, the judge right now in current trial is apparently ruling on maybe a mistrial. Give me a second. Or was about to talk about it. Give me a second. So you know how they were talking about mistrial in day 1? It's like day 3, and apparently the judge called all the lawyers into his chambers, and he's really thinking about in day 3 maybe ruling this as a mistrial. Which, by the way, that would be a win for Jeffrey, because I don't know if the state's prepared to spend the same amount of money and resources to try these guys again. So they might be like,
in the picture on the left, you also see the wearer throwing a B hand sign that's associated with blood gangs.
This nigga, he got the smile like, yo, we did it.
So here.
Okay. Anyway, the judge is mulling over the decision now. So we're gonna go back to this, but apparently there might be a mistrial, and apparently the judge has been so frustrated with the state, the whole process. The defense attorneys keep objecting left and right because they're like, yo, this is not right. Yo, they're misquoting people. They're not giving a shit in timely fashion. They're saying shit that was agreed that would not be saying in court. Yo, you're like prejudicing the jury. And the judge, like, my boy's just like, he's upset.
She continues on with her opening statement after this very long break. And here is where she focuses again on the leader of this alleged criminal enterprise, Jeffrey Williams, or Young Thug.
The evidence is going to show that the defendant, Jeffrey Williams' words and actions also betray his participation in the conspiracy. He rented a car, which happened to be a silver Infiniti sedan, that other YSL members, among them Demonte Kendrick and Shannon Stillwell, used when they openly and notoriously gunned down Donovan Thomas on January the 10th of 2015. I expect yet another YSL associate will come in here and tell you that Jeffrey Williams paid them money, gave them money to go to Miami and lay low in the wake of the Donovan Thomas murder. Nikian Garlington, who isn't before you for your consideration today, but who is in fact a YSL associate and co-conspirator of these defendants. He posted a video of the defendant, Jeffrey Williams, looking into the camera and saying these words. So, a nigga lied to their mama, lied to their kids, lied to their brothers and sisters, and then get right into the courtroom and tell the God's honest truth. Don't get it. Y'all need to get killed, bro. That's from me and YSL. The defendant's words tell you that there is an enterprise.
Okay, next in Prosecutor Adrian Love's opening statement in day one of the Young Thug RICO trial, she moves on to this controversial piece of evidence in this case, rap lyrics, specifically Williams and co-defendant Diamante Kendrick's lyrics, to be precise. Now, the judge previously ruled that 17 sets of lyrics can be used as evidence. Now, this didn't come without a lot of blowback from First Amendment advocates and defense attorneys. Does this stifle or violate someone's freedom of speech and artistic expression? It's a fair question. I mean, there's already been criticism that rap lyrics in general are predominantly used against black defendants in trials. But Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis, who is overseeing this prosecution, has said, quote, "I believe in the First Amendment. It's one of our most precious rights. However, the First Amendment does not protect people from prosecutors using lyrics as evidence if it is such." And that idea was echoed by Prosecutor Love when she told the jury that they weren't chasing the lyrics, they were chasing the murders and found the lyrics.
Lyrics that have an uncanny similarity to very true and very real and quite specific events, as the evidence will show. Jeffrey Williams' words that he promotes through songs with beats behind them, they aren't random. He tells you, as the evidence will show, take this to trial. I rep my life for real. What? For slimes, you know I kill. Trial, I done beat it twice, Kendrick's. I'm undefeated, like feds came and snatched me. I don't know, no point in asking. I was on what? Believe it. Stuck like a magnet. I shoot at your mammy, need to stand down. I up my stamina, take it to trial. Get an appeal, take it to trial. Yeah, you're gonna whack 'em. Pay for that casket, that's just if we whack 'em. My young pulling up. Bentleys, Aston Martins, Rares and Teslas strapped with an FN. You're gonna hear a lot about FNs. Watch me whack that. Pop 'em like assist. Glock with the assist. Incidentally, the gun at the home of Jeffrey Williams on May of 2022 that had been modified with that switch, it was a Glock. He tells you, we committing them crimes. Hop out and shoot. Roll one up for the gang. He's not using gang colloquially. The evidence will show he's telling you they are a gang.
Okay, so again, that's part of the prosecution's opening statement. Then we heard from the defense. Let me clarify that a bit. We heard some of the defense opening statement from one attorney. Obviously, with the delays in court, that is not surprising. In day two, we will hear more from the opening statements from the other defense attorneys representing other clients. But here we have defense attorney Max Shart, who is representing Shannon Stillwell. Stillwell is accused of not only RICO, but other charges, including murder. Now, Shart talks about Stillwell's past, trying to be a rapper, struggling to make money to fund that rap dream, and how he ultimately entered the drug trade. But, and this is very important, Shart says what Stillwell was doing was to benefit himself, not YSL.
The state has alleged in their overt acts, okay? These are acts that they claim prove that there's some RICO conspiracy afoot. You'll hear that on August 23rd, 2013, Shannon was charged with possession of marijuana with intent to distribute approximately 1 ounce over 10 years ago. And you'll hear that he pled guilty and did his time. You'll hear that in September 25th of 2019, he was arrested and charged with possession of a firearm. And he took responsibility and he did his time. We're not hiding from the fact that Shannon Stillwell has sold drugs. We're not hiding from the fact that he's been found in possession of marijuana. We're not hiding from the fact that he's been found in possession of a firearm, which is always synonymous with selling drugs. These are his path, his past, his truth, and they were his decisions. His motivation was to make money for him, to live, to pay rent, to eat. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not hiding from the past, but the evidence will show that Shannon's decisions, starting over 10 years ago, had nothing to do with YSL or any other organization. You won't hear evidence that Shannon was selling marijuana and then calling someone from YSL saying, hey, I got some money to support the organization, or calling Jeffrey Williams and saying, hey, I got some money for you, man. No, it was for him. He was a drug dealer. He pled guilty. He did his time.
That is an important theme. Trying to distance yourself away from the alleged gang. Talking about important themes in this case, this for the defense, I imagine we will hear that more from other defendants. Now, Sharp also focused upon the state's case, and particularly the murder charges, and how informants cannot be trusted. That they are looking to make deals and say whatever they have to say to prosecutors and to law enforcement to make that happen. And he highlights one particular situation that is very interesting concerning the murder of Donovan Thomas.
Detective Thorpe is the Atlanta Police Department detective that was assigned this case in January 2015, and you'll hear that he gathered the evidence from the crime scene. There was no DNA, there was no fingerprints of value, and there were no eyewitnesses on January 10, 2015. On October 19, 2015, 9 months and 9 days after the Donovan Thomas shooting, a man named Nicholas Robinson was arrested on the streets of Atlanta, brought to Fulton County Jail for various pending charges. And you will hear evidence that Mr. Robinson decided he needed help. And we'll hear that he contacted Atlanta Police Department and got in touch with Detective Thorpe. And Detective Thorpe came out and interviewed this Nicholas Robinson. That Nicholas Robinson told Detective Thorpe that he saw it all. And he saw the people that were inside the car. And he gave names. Nicholas Robinson said, I saw Antonio Sledge. He came out the sunroof, shooting. I saw Kenneth Copeland. He was in the front passenger seat. I saw Demetrion Garlington. He was the driver of this car. Quindarius Zachary, he wasn't there, but he supplied the gun to Antonio Sledge. And yes, I saw Shannon Stillwell, my client, in the back, passenger side, shooting a handgun. You'll learn that during this interview with Nicholas Robinson, it wasn't only Detective Thorpe. There was another investigator there, an investigator Gaither. And while Detective Thorpe was talking to Nicholas Robinson, Detective Gaither was doing some investigation of her own and looking into Nicholas Robinson and who this guy was who had just been arrested. And
okay, so that was day one. I'm trying to see if we can find some shit about day two, but pretty much like it's the trial is happening now. I'll point out one of the things because this kind of came about on social media, and I've seen a lot of people commenting on this, and I want to give some realistic conversation about it. Give me 1 second. Okay. So people had posted that, during the Law and Crimes stream, they showcased part of the jury. And part of the jury is seen right here. And a lot of people, if you even look at the comments here, they said, yo, damn, the jury black. They said thug and 4. You know what I mean? Like, they're saying, oh, shit. Because the jury's black, it's going to be a cakewalk. Now, you could actually look up the jury for the demographics, and it's a Young Thug jury. And we'll probably... Let me see. YSL trial jury, actually. Okay. I don't know if it'll show. Let me see. It'll tell you how many men and women. Okay, here we go. The panel of 12 jurors includes 7 black women, 2 black men, and 2 white women, and 1 white man. So essentially, we have 9 black, 3 white. We literally have 9 women, 3 men. Now, for people who are seeing this and say, oh shit, niggas, like, as long as we see black people, you finna get off. Let me warn you about this. Not because people like Young Thug's music, not because people like Young Thug maybe as a person or maybe as what's seen on TV, mean that these aren't Atlanta residents. And if you listen to the DA who's black, Fonnie Willis is black, you know what she's been saying? It's other black people that don't do crime in those neighborhoods, who do live on Cleveland Ave, that don't like this shit. They don't like the constant shootouts. Imagine if you lived in a place and you had some hoodlums up the block and they're doing all type of fuckery and niggotry every goddamn day, acting like buffoons, they're acting like coons, they're doing a whole bunch of bullshit. Yes, you might be the same skin color as them, but you are not the same creed as them. Them niggas are uncultured swines. And you, if given the opportunity to sit in a trial where you're hearing about all their crimes, you're not going to be thinking about, oh man, I got to let Thug go free because I want to hear Digits one more time, or I want to hear him perform Ski. No, you identify these mongrels as the people who are ruining your community. They're turning good old Cleveland Ave into Cleveland Ave. They're talking about how they love shooting up places in retaliation. So when y'all say that because it's a black jury, they're going to let them off, I think it's worse. Because all the bullshit capping that the lawyers are saying, oh, Thug stands for truly humbled under God. You think these motherfuckers is sitting there like, really, nigga? Thug stands for truly humbled under God? Nigga, we know how that nigga get down. So I don't think it's going to help Young Thug at all. Again, maybe there's a plant, or maybe there's somebody who's just so passionate about Thug on there, they could try to fuck up the process of getting a verdict, like how the YNW Melly shit was. But here's the thing. The people who were the victim of YSL were not Caucasians, were black people who wasn't on that thug life, that gangster shit, that slime shit, that whatever shit. They're the people who probably want to see Thug and them go to jail the most. If I live on Cleveland Ave and you keep rapping about how niggas are getting shot on Cleveland Ave, and now I can't even hang out on Cleveland Ave because it's a risk now of getting shot. Yeah, nigga, I want you to go to jail. Get out of here, nigga. Get off Cleveland. Let's turn Cleveland into Cleveland. So for people who are saying, oh, it's black people on the jury, I think this does not matter at all. And I think, if anything, it means that they're in trouble. These are the same people who have been terrorized by YSL. Anyway. Damn, they haven't came back yet. They're still trying to, like, rule over this fucking thing. Let's see.
That govern the way that members are to conduct themselves and things they're responsible for doing and not doing within the context of the gang. You'll notice a couple things we talked about are actually here in the rules. Number 20 is that they're expected to always capitalize the letter B, slash the letter C. They also will sometimes use a money sign and replace the letter S. And other things like 18 where it says that they're not allowed to snitch. obviously many other rules they follow.
And when you said 18, number 18, they're not allowed to snitch. It says no 999. What's the significance of that?
In their gang lingo, 999 means snitching, so they say no 999 or no snitching.
Okay. You talked about the founder of Sex Money Murder. Looking at the next slide, who is that we're looking at?
This is Mr. Rollick.
And is Mr. Rollick still alive and well today?
He's still alive, yes, ma'am.
And is Mr. Rollick known for doing anything? In particular, is he notorious for doing anything?
Your Honor. Basis, sir. Yeah, I'm gonna stand objection.
By the way, Talon, thank you for the $5. He says, yo, Ak, if I was a Young Thug's attorney, every time YSL was mentioned, I'd refer to them either as a music label or a record company. I mean, that's one way, but you still have to address they're accused of being a gang. They're absolutely accused of being a gang. So you could call them one thing and just ignore what the prosecutor's alleging, but the prosecutors, they're bringing proof, and in their opening statements, they're saying, we're going to show you why they're a gang. So you could say they're a record label. Here's the thing. Both things could be true. They could be a record label and a gang.
Your Honor, are we allowed to refer to where Mr. Rollick currently is?
Yes.
Okay.
You can ask him.
Where?
Hold on, is there something you said something, Mr. Yeah, I'll sustain the objection.
Does Mr. Rollick currently still have any significance within the gang itself?
Mr. Rollick is still considered to be the founder and leader of the gang, although he's not, I don't believe he's currently in operational control of the gang.
And as we go to the next slide, would you tell the jury what it is that is significant about that?
So this is an example of those gang colors that we talked about before, and the use of a red bandana, oftentimes seen in the back right pocket.
As we look at the next slide, what are we looking at?
So this is a gang hand sign that they use, and this is their two guns hand sign. We mentioned it and saw some examples earlier, but as you can see, they'll make their fingers into the shape of a gun, and will often hold it sort of the traditional way, is in front of the chest like this. They may now hold them separate, or even just do one of those. But the two guns is their kind of primary hand sign.
Looking at the next slide, what are we looking at?
A large tattoo. As you can see, it says "Sex, Money, Murder," with some bandana print sort of elements to it. As well. And there's also at the top, there's a 5-point star with a capital B in the middle with SMM below it.
And moving forward to that.
Here's a large SMM tattoo.
And what's that underneath it?
It looks like a person holding a smoking gun.
And going forward to gang tagging that has been observed.
Yeah, so this is a picture actually from Mount Zion Road at I-75 several years ago, Sex, Money, Murder tag. You see some stylization in the tag itself, but it clearly says Sex, Money, and the SMM for Sex, Money, Murder.
All right, chat. I'm hearing there's a new Gene Deal interview where he's kind of going, Gene